Hello, and welcome to another edition of Stealing a Moment with Mr. Crook. Today's topic is self-care. We want to look at defining it and seeing how students can help improve their self-care over time. First of all, quote of the day, self-care means giving yourself permission to pause. Well, let's define self-care. According to the Oxford Dictionary, self-care is the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. For example, something like going to the doctor if you're sick, your nutrition with vitamins, your exercise, or taking care of your mind. And then it continues, the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness, in a particularly during stressful periods of time. Well, that kind of seems to be the times that we're in now. Stressful period of time, dealing with our own well-being, our own mental health care, and taking care of ourselves for what might be needed, whether that's making sure we're getting proper nutrition and water and sleep, but also taking care of our mind. And that's what we want to focus in on today. Stress, anxiety, worry, all those feelings that we talked about last week are really warning lights of something that's going on in our lives. And usually we can identify what it is. A test coming up, a student bothering us. Some anxious times can easily be defined, and some of them cannot be. But stress is like a warning light. You've all been in your parents' car. If you don't buckle up the seatbelt in the front seat, we get a warning light on the dashboard, or a bell might ring. And that warning light is just an indicator that, hey, you haven't buckled up. Take care of yourself and buckle up. Well, sometimes stress is a warning light for us as well. Even though we can't identify what that stress is, we know that a warning light is going off, and we need to find some ways to protect ourselves and take care of ourselves to help reduce that level of stress. Let's think about this for a minute. What's your overall mental health temperature? We can't actually take a temperature of that. We can only take a temperature of your body. But if we look at the scale of 0 to 10, your stress, worry, anxiety, sometimes depression, is it very low where it's a 0 on our temperature scale? Is it 5 average? Or is it 10 super high? And kind of make a mental note of that. Then think about some other days, maybe this past weekend, maybe some times in the past when your mental health temperature was quite low. Where are we today and compared with that? Maybe you've had an experience where you've had a very stressful time of a test coming up or something you were worrying about or a sporting event that was causing some stress in your life, and you were at an 8 or a 9. Where are you today? Taking note of that number is good to do kind of over time. You can kind of get an average of kind of where you're at over time to see what your temperature is for your mental health. What are you actually feeling? Maybe you can identify what you're feeling. Maybe you can't. As adults, sometimes people have this saying of HALT. And this HALT is simply an acronym for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. You might be feeling hangry, which is causing this stress, difficulty of learning, whatever it might be, you being angry and upset, and you just need to get something to eat. Or maybe you need to go to bed earlier. As you're thinking about your mental health temperature, also think of HALT. Some of these basic ideas. Are you hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Because you can solve those pretty quickly and easily on your own. I want to share with you some other ways to take care of yourself. Now, a little disclaimer down here is the next steps won't take away all of the stress and the problems, but it might make them easier to handle. First one I like to use is a mind sweep. When you're stressed, worried, a lot is on your mind, just get out a notepad and pen and write down all that's on your mind. It doesn't have to be anything formal. It doesn't have to have capitals and punctuation. Just write the list of what's going through your mind right now. Set that aside. Look at it later. Sometimes it's helpful just to take all that's on your mind and put it on paper. Maybe it's a list of things you got to do, paper that you got to write, a test that's coming up, other things that are happening in your life. And if you just write them down, getting them out of your mind is very helpful to do. And research shows that it's better to put on paper and pen than in a digital form. So think about actually grabbing a piece of paper and pen and writing down all that's going on in your mind, getting it out of your mind, and then looking at it later after you've had some time to maybe get a snack or to rest or to think things through. We talked about taking a deep breath last week. Very powerful. Use those breathing techniques of the triangle breathing, the square breathing, or the hot chocolate breathing, whatever you prefer to do. And do that for a minute or two regularly to help reduce the stress and anxiety. Good self-care techniques there. But there's lots of other things that you can do. Laughter is a great one to help take care of yourself to lower stress. Find jokes or books or comic videos that you can kind of watch and laugh to, because laughter is very good at helping your mental state. Actual physical activity. Go for a walk. Go for a run. Go play some volleyball. Do something physically active. Read books. This can often take your mind away from stressful situations. Yoga. There's a lot of stress relief apps out there right now. Calm and Calm.com, Headspace, Insight Timer have all kinds of neat tips and tricks and things that you can do through an app on your phone, and some can even happen on your computer. And there's lots of others that you can follow. If you just simply type into Google self-care tips and ideas, you get some long lists like this. Now, you might not be able to see all of these because they're so small, but there's a lot on here that you can look at, go through. Make sure, of course, that your parents approve of you doing some of these. Now might not be the great time to go for a swim, but you could go for a walk. I love number 70, volunteer in your community. Number 67, start an art journal. Just start drawing some things that are on your mind. Number 50, take photos of nature. A good list for you to kind of look through here. Here's another one that just pops up on Google if you search self-care topics. Some emotional responses, some physical ones, some spiritual ones. I love the idea of a gratitude list. What are you thankful for? Take some time to volunteer. Practice positive self-talk. Plant a tree. Maybe rake leaves. In the practical column, you can see just cleaning up. Sometimes just organizing and cleaning your desk or room is also a good thing to help with your mental health. Social. Talk with some others. Schedule a time to talk on the phone. But remember, sometimes it's just halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. And some of those basic needs that you can take care of can really help yourself feel better in the next couple hours of the next day. Another powerful one is talking to someone. When we are stressed, it's harder to use our cortex, the thinking part of our brain. Quite often, talking to others helps us relax so that we can start using our thinking part of our brain, and that stress will go down. You might be wondering, well, who can I talk to? Trusted adult, parent, teacher, counselor, some friends that are helpful. But if you're having trouble coming up with somebody to talk to, there is a new online helpful app, text, call, phone number place called TeenLine. And it is teenonline.com. You can go here and talk, text, right to teens who are trained, but teens who are dealing with some of the same things that you have. I haven't gotten their app yet, but in their webpage it talks about you can get their app, and you can even just vent to other teens who have been trained to help you get through things. So if this seems like something that you would enjoy, they're on all the social media. You can get the app on your phone. I haven't tried it on the computer yet, but on your phone. But if not, if you just need somebody to talk to, you can call their 800 number. You can text with them, and it's a teenager who's been trained to kind of help you through whatever you might be struggling with. There's also the crisis text line, where you can, similar idea, text to get some help with whatever might be through. This is with a trained counselor so that you can work through whatever issues you might need. And this is simply text 741-741, and you get all kinds of support and help through both of these texting places that you might want to check out. What I'd like you to do is actually take a moment and make a self-care list. Kind of just make a list of 5 to 10 things that you would actually do and try when you're feeling that your mental health temperature is getting quite high. When you're at that 7, 8, 9, 10 level, what are some things that you can do to help take care of yourself, reduce that stress, anxiety, worry, sadness, whatever it might be? And your list might look completely different from mine or from others. The top of my list is always taking a deep breath, getting some physical activity, and I enjoy doing music, whether that's guitar or piano. Doing some things actively is always helpful and positive. So make your list. If you see me in school sometime this next week, let me know what your list is. If you want to email me your list just so I can check out and see what other students are doing, feel free to email me your list of top 5 or top 10 things that you like to do with self-care. When you're with some trusted adult, ask them, what do they like to do to help calm down? Whether that's your teacher, whether that's a parent, whether that's somebody that's around you. Ask and see what's their self-care list of things that they like to do. I hope this is helpful. Please take care of yourself during a stressful time and go forth and do great things. I look forward to seeing you soon.